Welcome, listeners. This is Sue Shields with My Florida Dreams Mobile Home Sales and Rentals. I'm coming to you from beautiful Suncoast of Florida, where you can live in paradise all year long. After 2.5 years in business, Pete and I have been asked a lot of questions, and we've learned a lot of answers about manufactured homes. Today, we thought we would share some of those questions with you and hopefully answer questions you may have too. The number one question we get is usually someone considering a manufactured home, but they're not sure if they should or not. So, Pete, why do we live in a mobile home?
Well, we all had visions of grandeur, living and retiring on a high rise on the beach. And reality with the economy when you and I retired was we would move to a manufactured home. And that's not a bad thing. We chose a manufactured home because of price, and that is the real consideration is a manufactured home compared to a stick-built home is substantially less money. You can buy a beautifully remodeled home for less than $100,000, and I'm saying way less than $100,000 in the 70s, and you would not be able to tell that from a stick-built home.
I would agree with that. Another reason is a lot of them are built in a community. Unlike a subdivision, we are a community lifestyle where we live. We have shared pools. We share the exercise rooms. The amenities that we have here are far more than we would ever have if we lived in a site-built home. So that's a big thing for us. When you're on a fixed income, you want to keep your expenses as low as possible. So we have no mortgage, and life is good. We do all the things that we did when we were making tons of money and happy to be here.
Yeah, a good example of the community lifestyle, Mike, who's doing our podcast for us and keeps us out of trouble on these, is a good friend, and we play Trivia Pursuit together on a team. And that's just one of the amenities and one of the things we love about this community.
So the next question is, can a manufactured home be customized?
Absolutely. There is a home down the street, and it is, I would defy anyone who would walk inside to tell me that this is a manufactured home. It has an open sight line from kitchen, dining room, living room, beautiful home, beautiful new floors, stone countertops, beautiful new kitchen. And this is all with a price tag well under $100,000. In fact, we were so surprised and so impressed with this home when it turned out. It's on the front page of our website, www.mfdmobilehomes.com. And there's a featured home, and it's not what you would expect. Please look at that, and you can see how much you can customize these homes, bathrooms and kitchens, and they did them all here. Also, on the last page of our website is a resource page, and that gives you ideas on how to remodel and what some of the advantages of a mobile home is.
Also, if you're purchasing a new one, just like buying a house and building a house, you have the opportunity to choose the colors and types of cabinets and countertops and whatever else upgrades. You can do whatever you want with them. They're just exactly the same. So this one's a good question for you, Pete, since you're a former appraiser. Will a manufactured home appreciate?
That's a great question. And when I was appraising homes in Kentucky, I specialized in manufactured homes, but on land. So the real answer to your question is yes, they will appreciate, and no, they won't. And you've often heard me talk about standout houses stand out. That means when you list your house for sale and you want to sell it in any price range, if that house stands out to the consumers or to the buyers, then those homes go for very short days on market. And yes, the standout houses appreciate. And we've sold 4 over $70,000 in the last 2 weeks, I think, or last month. And those homes were all standout houses. They were all customized, and they were all beautiful.
And they were all built in the 70s.
And they were all built in the 70s. That's correct. They were not new homes. The other thing I would add to the appreciation is MH Village, which is one of the standout websites in our industry, totally independent website. They had an article on how manufactured homes follow the curve of stick-built homes, and the graphs were very impressive. They actually went up. They followed the curve of normal housing. Now, that being said, I also said no. Small homes and homes that have not been upgraded, and as an appraiser, the first and the largest markdown of a home is what's called functional allowance. And the description of functional allowance is, are you having to mark the home down in value because it doesn't have a current kitchen? It doesn't have current flooring. It needs to be basically brought up to today's standards on what consumers want. You're not selling your homes to yourselves, you're selling them to someone else. So, that being said, if the consumers think, I've got to put all this money into a house to upgrade to my standards or today's standards, then yeah, it's going to depreciate.
Yeah, I think that people need to understand that these are a lot like purchasing a used car. Most people would go to the internet, look up the Blue Book price, and then negotiate from there. It's kind of the same thing with these. We don't have a Blue Book. We have a different book, but it does the same thing. You put in all the information about the house, the manufacturer, the size, and it gives you a price to start from. From that, an appraiser would look at it and say, okay, the kitchen has been remodeled, so we're going to add X amount of dollars. Bathrooms are remodeled, we're going to add more. And the more upgrades you've done to the house, the higher the value of the house. So it can and will appreciate if you are willing to put in the work and the money to do it. Another question that I get asked a lot is, but I'm concerned about having a fire or being in a hurricane. Well, manufactured homes that were built after 1976 are no more susceptible to fires than a site-built home. In 2013, the National Fire Protection Association conducted studies which compared the impacts of fire on both manufactured and site-built homes. Manufactured housing actually had 39 to 44% fewer fires. They had the same fire death rate as any other single-family home, and they had a lower rate of civilian fire injuries per 100,000 occupied housing units than any other one or two family homes. So basically, it's equal, and it comes down to, it's not the structure, it's actually the fires are actually related to human carelessness. So, again, HUD codes govern our manufactured homes, and they're actually stricter than site-built homes when it comes to hurricanes and tornado ratings. Since 2004, not one manufactured home built has been destroyed by a hurricane. That's pretty impressive, don't you think?
I do. I think that's great. Part of the reason also is in the communities, using our community, Colony Cove, as an example, they had the state of Florida come in, the HOA, the past HOA, and they had the state of Florida come in, and at no cost to us, they added or repaired tie downs. Tie downs are what hold the home to the ground. And they replaced them at no cost, saving us thousands and thousands of dollars and also making us safe. So we appreciate that from the state of Florida and Lynn Mercer and her crew.
So to sum things up today, should you consider a manufactured home? Well, I'd say that Pete and I agree that it is an option you should consider. Can it be customized? Absolutely. Will a manufactured home appreciate? If you're willing to put some money and work into it, absolutely. It's not the kind of thing I would say is good for a flipper, but it's certainly good for an individual. And also, financing is available. If you're concerned about fire and hurricanes, rest assured that the new homes being built since 1976, so they're not necessarily new, are safe. It's just up to you to not catch it on fire. Anything you want to add, Pete?
Nope, I think that just about wraps it up on this topic.
All right, then we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for listening. This is Sue Shields and
Pete Shields
from My Florida Dreams. Have a great day.